Hello Infiniteers, I am back in my Neverland toy box today, and we're going to continue the build exercise for this world. Once again, here's a screenshot of Neverland from the Peter Pan movie. This is what we're trying to build, and so far we've placed the terrain for the water around the island, Cannibal Cove, Crocodile Creek, the waterfalls that feed into Crocodile Creek, and the cliffs and hills around the creek. Today we're going to build the shoreline as we make our way around the perimeter of the island, and I'm going to start with the Indian camp. Here's a close-up shot of that. As you can see, it sits high up on a narrow peninsula that juts out into the sea. There's a winding path that leads upward to the top of the peninsula, and there are steep cliffs all around. And there don't appear to be any plants or trees growing on that peninsula. It's all barren rock. And so, as we get started here, we're going to head over to this end of the island, and I've placed a couple of toys that we're going to need. This one is from the decorations drawer. It's the teepee that's part of the Lone Ranger playset, but you can unlock that from the toy store, I believe, by purchasing it if you don't own that. And this little fire pit is the Ewok Village bonfire from the Rise Against the Empire playset. Those are the two decorations that we're going to need. So let's start our build by picking this square piece up, and we're going to use this tiny terrain block and drop that right in here. And I'm going to change the theme on this to be Carburetor County. I'll set that to be my theme. This is what I think matches the picture the closest. And then we're going to build our little peninsula. And it looks a little blocky right now, but that's okay. It's not going to stay this way. Alright, and then let's grab over to the right. And actually it might be quicker just to go pick up this cliff piece, because this is what I'm trying to get to. So we'll pick that up and put it back. That gets us to that part of the drawer a little bit quicker. And we're going to drop this piece right up here like that. We'll put this piece there and another one on this end. We'll just build the cliffs around this. And yeah, just the narrow one on this side. Sorry for that delay, I was referencing my screen grab. Alright. And then let's pick this piece up over here and put that back. That gets us back to this part of the drawer, and I'm looking for this small floating cliff again. And we are going to drop one of these right over here. About like that, actually. And another one right there. And then we'll scroll over to the right. Oh, and while we're right here, let's put this out on the base over here. About like that. And we'll keep going to the right. We have this ramp cliff that just looks nice and rocky and fits the picture of that pretty well. And if you place those bottom little cliff corners ahead of time, this will sit over top of it without any kind of bounding box issue. I think if you place this ramp first and then you try to place these, you'll run into problems. So you want to place these first and then that. Alright, then we can pick up our teepee. Bring that up here to the top. And we'll put one over here on this corner. Place another one right over here. Try to cover up that terrain scene. Place another one over here. edge like that. And another one back over here. Then we'll come down and get that little fire pit. Put that right up in the middle of the camp. And I'm going to move it a little bit over here. I think you don't want it too close to that tent. And there we go. There's the Indian camp. And that looks pretty close to what we have in the movie. I like that a lot. And even though you can't really see this part of it, I think that helps the side not look so blocky. Okay. Let's continue working our way clockwise around the island. And let's see that screen grab again so we can get a look at the next area. You can see there's a little bay to the right of the Indian camp that is surrounded by cliffs. We built those cliffs last time. At the end of the bay is a tall peak, and beyond that, the island looks fairly flat and slopes down to the sea. And from this shot, it appears like that flat area on the back of the island stretches all the way around the island to Mermaid Lagoon. Unfortunately, we don't have any other shots of that area of the island from the movie, so all we can go by are maps. And here's one of the maps of the island that I'm referencing. The only thing of interest back there is Hangman's tree, which is Peter Pan's hideout. And from the map, it looks like the tree is in the middle of the flat area of the island. Here's what Hangman's tree looks like in the movie. Excuse me. Pan's hideout is a cave that is hidden underneath the tree. Now, because the cave pieces are kind of tall, and because I'm trying to make the toy box as compact as possible, I don't want to stretch out that back of the island any further out this direction than I want, or than I have to. And so rather than place Hangman's tree kind of out here in an open area, I chose to place it up here on the cliffs and the slopes on the way up to the big mountain in the middle of the island. And you'll see what I have in mind when we get there, but let's start once again back over here with the cliffs around the Indian camp. And as you can see again, I've already framed these in from last time. So we'll continue our build here. Let's pick this piece up and put it down. And I want to grab this little corner piece, and we need to change our theme. We're going to change that back to Neverland. I'll set that to be my theme. And while that's loading, let me pull up the screen grab that I need for this next area here. Okay. And then we're going to grab this piece, put this in here right like that. And I'm going to need one little spacer here on the end of that, like that. Alright, let's pick this little block up again. We'll put that down. We need to put one more right on side of that. And then I want to grab, let's use this piece. We're going to place this right in here like this. Followed by one of these. Actually, a couple of them. Alright, and don't worry about this gap here because we're going to fill that in shortly. Alright, let me get back over here. Okay, so we need, our next piece is this one. That's going to sit right in here like that. Followed by a second one and another one over here. And then we're going to come back over. Let's see. Let's pick up this little piece of slope here, which gets us back to that part of the island. or that part of the drawer, and I'm looking for this large slope. We're going to drop this right over here like that. That piece will sit in there. This piece will sit in there. And then we need two of these as we come over that direction. Okay? And there we go. There's the perimeter of the island, a bit abbreviated. Because again, there's not much back here anyway, so there's no point in taking up memory building something that has nothing of interest. Okay, let's pick this piece up and put it down. Sorry for wandering all over the place there. Just trying to determine where I wanted to go next. We're going to put this piece right up here against the edge and right up on the corner like that. Followed by that piece right there. Okay. And then we'll put our peak in here. And for that, we're going to use this piece. I had used this one earlier, but I think this one better matches what's in that screenshot. So I'm going to change this on the fly because I can do that. And let's see, where do we want to put this? This needs to go right up on the edge of the cliff like that. I want to make sure we leave enough room over here. And we do have a gap down here, so we do need to fill that. So let's grab this little piece. And we'll use this little wedge here to plug that hole. That's the only piece we need to put in. The rest of the hole can stay because it's covered up by that peak. Alright, and then we have this ugly gap under here. We're going to need to fill that with something. So let's see, we can use this piece for that. We just need a couple of those. And you might be wondering why I'm not bringing this all the way down. I could. Kind of saving a little bit of memory though. But if you have the memory, you could bring this down all the way. Use this little corner piece and put this right here on this corner and another one right behind it to kind of curve back into that wall there. So, but I'm not going to do that with mine. You're not really going to see that anyway because there's not much to do over on that part of the island. So I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. The next thing we're going to do, let me find my screen grabs here. Unfortunately, this part with Pan's hideout isn't co-located with the other screen grabs that I got. Okay. So let's pick this piece up here again and put that down. And we're going to go to the left, and I'm looking for the cave pieces. And the first one I want is the cave end, which is this one. We're going to put Pan's hideout up here on the corner of this. So that corner piece is going to sit in there like that. The well, we'll put that right in here as well, like that. And then the cave bend, we're going to put this in here like that and just put several of those to build an enclosed cave. If you look at this from underneath, you can kind of see how that's structured. Alright, we'll pick this piece up and put it down, and we need some blocks underneath there for a floor. So let's grab this one. We're going to put this right underneath those pieces. This piece will sit right underneath that one. Okay. And then we are going to need one of these pieces. We're going to sit this here like this. And I think that's as far as we're going to take that for just right now. All right, let's come over here. We'll pick this piece up and put it back. We're going to put another one of these down below. Right here. That covers up that terrain seam a little bit right there, which I think is very helpful. And then there is a piece here. I'm not quite sure where it is. Well, this is one we're going to need, so let's put this up here. This gives us our climbing rope, which is one way to get up there. So we'll add that. And I'm probably going to be scrolling for a bit. Cave fort, not that one. Cave fort block, not that one. And I'm not seeing that other. Let's just keep going this way. I don't think it's over this direction. Massive terrain block. We do need this, this cliff corner though. We're going to drop this right in here like this. But on the front of this thing, let me pick this up again. Put that down. Let's go left because it must have been in this direction. There's kind of another cave fort piece that I want that's pretty neat. Oh, and while we're right here, let's drop this in. That'll make that not look quite so blocky. Yeah, it's not any of these. Oh, that's the one. And it doesn't really look anything like the picture that's there to me. But we're going to place this right here like you see there. Okay. All right, so I like that. And then for Pan's hideout, for the Hangman's tree, the closest thing we have is this Brave Sidekick tree door. This does take up a little chunk of memory because it's a creativity toy and it has logic. So you can use this. You can place this up here. Another option though, if you have Groot's Roots, that terrain theme power disc, you can drop this piece, and if we style that, you have this Groot Great Tree, and that can work too. I kind of like the little fireflies around that, and I think that would work as well, and that's not going to take up as much memory as this Logic toy, so you could use that and just drop this right here. And so I'm going to do that. We're going to use that as our Hangman's tree. Okay, so with this cave piece, we have a little ladder and a way to get up here. We're going to add another ladder that goes up the side there, and we'll find that under the platforming toys. If we go to the left, I should have dropped one of these out here ahead of time. Sorry for that. Didn't think of that till just now. But we have this long wooden ladder. We're going to drop this right up here like that. And you can drop it here. I think I'll put it over on the side. So that gives us multiple ways to get up here. You can climb the ladder, you can climb the rope. We're going to have a climbing cliff over here shortly. We can use that. So there's a number of ways that players can get up there. And I think that will be helpful for them. Alright, so let's pick this piece up and put it back. And then we're going to use this cliff piece. Place this in here. Put the half cliff over here and then the corner. This is putting a nice finishing edge on this. We'll use the climbing cliff on this side. That gives the players another way to get up there. And it breaks up all of the cliff on this side of the thing. And we need one more in the corner. So it doesn't look quite so repetitive with the climbing piece over here. Alright, and then let's go ahead and pick this piece up and put it down. We will put another one of these under here, like that. And then we're going to scoot diagonally. And before we put that down, let's put down another couple of blocks under here so we don't have a gap. So we're going to put that one, we're going to put that one. And there we go. And we've already used this piece elsewhere, so that's not going to take up much additional memory. So let's put this little piece in that corner. Oops, not there. There. And I think that'll look better. If we use the wider triangular piece, part of that's going to hang over the edge here, kind of like the corner of that is doing. I don't want that gap that's there, so I think that'll look better. Alright, so there is Pan's hideout and Hangman's tree. As I said, it's a little further up on the slope here than I would kind of like, or that it kind of belongs down here according to the map, but again, I don't want to stretch this area out. It's just filled with trees, and that just takes up memory. And I kind of like the little climbing area over here. I think that looks really good. Alright, so let's come around over here. And the last area I want to build today, how are we doing on time? I think we can get this done. The last area I want to build today, which will finish the shoreline, is Mermaid Lagoon. And here's a screenshot of that from the movie. You can see that the bay is surrounded by rocky cliffs, and there are some rocks in the middle of the bay. Here's another shot of Mermaid Lagoon. This shows a waterfall with trees and leafy plants on the top of the cliffs around the lagoon. The rocky cliffs have an interesting shape to them. Unfortunately, we don't have any terrain pieces with that shape, but we do have some rocky terrain pieces that I think should look nice. And so as we get started with this, I want to come over here. Let's pick this piece up and put it back. And let's grab this piece. We're going to come over on the back side of this and use this really tall piece to minimize the terrain seams that we have underneath there. We're going to do the same with those, so we'll bring those around like that. And then we'll grab this piece here. And we'll place those there like that. So that frames in the lagoon. And because this looks so square and not good at all, let's come over and pick this piece up and put it down. And let's add some other decorative pieces here. And we'll kind of cover up these terrain seams a little bit over here. So we'll put one there. We'll put another one over here. Maybe another piece over here like this. We can also put one of these little shallow floating cliffs up here. So that doesn't look so square. So I think that helps. And then over here, let me see, I gotta find my screenshot here for Mermaid Lagoon. Again, these aren't co-located with the other ones, but here we go. Alright, so we're going to scroll over. Let's put down another one of these. And we'll put this over here like this with that tall part of that piece covering up that terrain seam. I think that will help with that. We'll put this piece in the middle. And to cover up the squareness of that, we'll put a few of these around here. Yeah. Okay, and then put one of these here like this. And some of these here. And this will help cover up the terrain seam that's there a little bit. We'll pick this piece up and put it back. Put that one in the corner. Like that. So that looks pretty good. That looks a little nicer. And I've got some rocky pieces we're going to put down here in the middle a little bit later in the build. They're part of the customizable plants, so we're going to leave those. But we need our waterfall, so let's go over to the right. We're going to use this waterfall end piece, and we'll use this to cover up that seam right there. I think that will be helpful. And while we're at it, we did not place the waterfall over here last time. So let's do that. Oh, down too low. There, and we need to move those blocks out of the bottom. Another one of those silly bounding box issues. So we'll pull these two pieces out. Now we can drop this piece into place, and then we can put these back and it won't cause any problem. So I don't know why you have to do this in a certain order, why this isn't a problem but the other is, but at any rate, yeah, that looks a little better with our waterfall there. And that is it for the perimeter of the island. That all looks pretty good. Not crazy about the flatness on this end, but I don't think players are really going to see that, so I'm not worried about it. And that looks really, really good. And with that, the terrain for the shoreline around the island is done. Next time, we'll build the big mountain in the center of the island, as well as Skull Rock, and then we'll add the plants and trees and the final finishing touches for Neverland. That's all for me today. Before you go, please hit the like button and leave a comment to let me know what you think of the build so far. You can also subscribe to my channel by clicking my photo in the lower right corner of this video, and don't forget to follow me on my blog. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.